Hey there, Tim from Alpha Wolf Trading coming at you with this week's sample of stocks to watch for trading and investing off of the Pro Member video. Make sure you go over to alphawolftrading.com and see my breakdown of the different sectors and potential catalysts. My take on where we look technically or where we sit technically. It broke down quite a few sectors this week. Make sure you go over to alphawolftrading.com and check that out. And if you like what you see, sign up to have my basically my weekly newsletter or blog post sent directly to your email every week for free. You don't have to become a member. I send this out for free every single week. So go check that out. Before I get started with the stocks to watch for this week, or the sample of stocks to watch for this week, I want to wish all the dads out there a fantastic Father's Day. I hope you have a great one. All right, so let's just jump right into the stocks to watch this week. And I'm going to start now. IPOs, or recent IPOs, have really kind of been on fire. We've got a good group of IPOs that are actually going to be listing this week. And so we'll have some new IPOs to take a look at. Quite a few of them. That's also listed on the blog. But NITE was one that, I've got one of the pro members in Alpha Wolf Trading is really, really good at IPOs. It's really kind of been his niche for a long time. And as you can imagine, he's been doing extremely well in this recent environment. And one of the ones that he pointed out was this NITE, and I really like the look of this. I mean, it broke out over this flat top, had a nice flat top breakout with good volume, good relative volume for it. Got up to about the 1725 area, which is an area of potential price resistance. And it pulled back. Now, it hit that spot, hit this actually 1775 area twice and pulled back. Maybe this consolidates a bit. I'm not crazy about these candles, but I do like the way that it broke out over this this area of price resistance at $15. And maybe you look for this to flag out a little bit. Maybe you look for some volume for some follow through, and if it winds up taking out 1775, this could be a runner. It does have 58 million shares in the float, or no, that's not even 50, hold on a second, let me see. That's I thought it was 58 million shares, but hold on one second, I'm going to find out what the float is exactly. My apologies. Only 19.2 million shares in the float, so very small float. So it could be a runner in this recent climate that we have with these recent IPOs. So worth keeping an eye on NITE. One thing these candles do tell you is don't be chasing the open on this thing, right? I mean, if it opens at 1774, probably not the best place to take it. But it does look like maybe $16, 16 down to 15.50 or so. That could be an interesting spot to take it for a starter. Maybe what you look for is 15.50. You put your stop just below the 50-day, right, which puts us at about $14, right? And if we could take out $18 with conviction, I think potentially you're looking at a retest up into that $22, $23 area. So worth keeping an eye on NITE for potential day trade or high risk swing because of the fact that it's a biotech and it's got such a small float. ROAD is another IPO that Russell, the pro member, brought up, and it broke out. It also had a little bit of a flat top breakout and took out the highs when it came public. It has pulled back and now is testing that level of support. So maybe what we look for here is a pullback to $13, see if it holds the support for a bounce. I will also make note of the fact that there was a positive mention on Road by Baird, solid compounding returns for newly public construction partners. So comments from Baird over the weekend. I think they put a $15 price target on it. Maybe we look for a 13 test and bounce. Could be a day trading opportunity there as well. And I believe that this one has a pretty small float, but hold on a second. Let me go take a look. Okay, it looks like Road has about 51 million shares in the float. So let's see how this opens up. If it gaps up on Monday, I wouldn't chase the gap up. Look for some kind of an intraday setup. Like I said, ideally for me, I think $13 would be a decent entry on Road. TWLO, Twilio. Beautiful looking setup on the daily, kind of a floating island look here, gapped up and just been consolidating, holding on to the 8 EMA, flirting with the $60 holla. Tech is hot. I do believe we are close to all-time highs in Twilio. Let me take a look and make sure that is all-time highs up in the $72 range, all-time highs, and it's just been grinding higher. These are monthly candles here, and it really looks strong. Consolidating on the daily. It is overbought, does have some overbought conditions, but things can stay overbought, and Twilio is looking pretty darn good. And I think there was some pretty good, let me see if there was some call action. So there was $65 calls at the ask on Friday, 1,000 of them. So you got some strong call activity going on in Twilio. You're flirting with the $60 holla, nice round number. 71 million shares in the float, trades decent volume, 1.5 million shares traded on Friday. I think this has got a really good looking setup here. Maybe you look to this as a swing, even maybe a long-term hold consideration if you really do some due diligence on the company itself. But maybe look for an entry somewhere around $57.50, $58. And if it breaks over 60 with some conviction, maybe you look for an intraday setup then. But pretty nice looking setup on TWLO. Brew. Who doesn't like Brew? This is a low float stock, only 12.6 million shares in the float, and it broke out on Friday on pretty good volume, 300,000 shares trading hands, and this is a nice flat top breakout here as well. Now let me see if this is, yeah, we're close to blue skies in this one, all-time highs. Take out $23 and I think you're in complete blue sky territory. No, I lied. I hate it when I do that. Backed it up to the monthly here. It actually looks like all-time highs were around 35 and change. I think we're kind of heading in that direction though. Maybe we do get a big test. Got a big cup formation going on here on the monthly time frame. Daily looks fantastic. It's been consolidating. Like I said, it kept tapping this area as $20 basically as resistance, and we broke through that on Friday. I'm looking for potential follow through, maybe a red to green. You look for a pullback to that $20 area and see, and that could be your entry, and then look for it to maybe potentially find some resistance up in the $23 area. All right, so that's Brew, and then INFU had some insider buying. Actually, 10% owner picked up some shares at $3.10. I like the way this one's looking. It's pulling back. It had this nice run. It's been pulling back, consolidating, and looking for the 50-day to potentially hold as price support for a bounce somewhere around the 289 area. That could be an interesting spot, maybe to take it for an entry. Or look to maybe take it as a day trade on a break over this trend line with conviction. Looks like $3 is kind of trying to hold the support. Not a lot of volume on this one though. That's the issue, right? Only traded 16,000 shares on Friday, so this could be a higher risk swing, right? Knowing that you could, there could be some manipulation going on here because it trades so thin, or you just wait for some volume on a break over the trend line with conviction. But pretty interesting setup. I mean, you've got the the 200-day, which is sloping up. You've got the 50-day, which is sloping up. A lot that I like about this chart, and then I, of course, like the fact that the 10% owner is picking up shares. So worth keeping an eye on, INFU. And then CYTK is the last one off of the sample list. CYTK had some news this weekend. It looks like positive data, and it's got a pretty nice looking setup on the daily. Now, this kind of ran into this news, and it is approaching overbought, but pretty good volume on Friday. This could be a gapper, actually, on Monday. Now, there is a gap to fill on the daily up to about $11. It's sitting right at the 200-day, and you've got this potential flat top breakout happening. So, could be an interesting one to see. We'll see how it opens up on Monday. But looking at this longer-term trend line here, looks like we could have some resistance somewhere around the $15 area. So maybe you get a gap up, you get a pull back, consolidation. Let's see what kind of volume we have. It's only got 40.5 million shares in the float, but I think CYTK is definitely one to have on your radar. I have an extensive list of stocks to watch this week for the pro members. A lot of small caps, small caps, even some micro caps. I mean, that has been a very strong sector and could continue, especially if we see the dollar continue to strengthen. But should be an interesting week ahead. Let's see what happens with the trade war fears and all that stuff. But some sectors out there that look really good. Make sure you go over to the blog and check out my breakdown. I promise you won't regret it. There's some good information over there. Good luck trading next week. Do not chase. Always have a plan. Always know your risk reward. Good luck trading next week, and I'll see you all next week.